So I'm running the VHS. This stuff in here is like a jewelry of scrap electronics. So this is the fourth or fifth or sixth time running this reverse electroplating. Just shocking the pieces, electrocuting them. So this is a sediment that I've taken off this gold-plated jewelry, scrap electronics. The jewelry of scrap electronics. There's a couple gold coins in there. That's what you see in the previous videos. But this will probably be the last run for this, because there's not much left of it. It's just a floating ground cable, and the hot wire off the 12-volt battery is in contact with the material. You can contact the material with the ground too, and sometimes so like right there I'm in contact with it and there's no activity, so I'll pick it up, no activity, so stripping the material. So I had two hot wires, two different places of contact. The blue sediment is the copper coming off, and that can be siphoned off. I already pulled a little bit off, but just siphon it off. So this is today. This is a flip phone. ALCATEL. So the idea is, I'm going to show you it running right here, and then we're going to take this one step farther. So I just clipped the charger where you plug it in the wall. I just clipped it off. So it's clipped it off and twisted the wires together. It's just plugged in. Just submerge that. Make sure to take out the battery. So this is going to the hot wire is going to be in contact, so I got to plug that in. Without messing up the other. These are fingerboards running again. So now I gotta fill it with water. Actually, it's spent hydrogen peroxide. I've been using it over now. I just added 2 more 2-liter plastic, 1/2 hydrogen peroxide and 1/2 water. I just added it so I had more water to work with. But this is all spent hydrogen peroxide and water, and I use it over and over. It clears up nicely. So I just put that in there earlier. Still can clear up. So on the sediment that come off it already, see how nice and clear the water is? Well, that's what happens. So just cover. There's no acids. So now I need to just take a ground wire and I need to float it in here without contacting any other metal. So I just need a good ground wire. So I'm just going to float it in there. So if there's no activity, then it means it's not doing nothing. There's no contact with the hot wire. See it bubbling? Well, let it bubble for about 30. Well, you can let it bubble for or work for a few hours, 4 or 5 hours, and then take it and clean it off and collect the sediment that it's producing. So if you're getting an off-color, ugly sediment off, like something new that you put in there, like the what is that, magnet something in there, can't remember what kind of magnet it is, but anyway, so you let that go for 5 or 6 hours. Good activity. Charger's not plugged in. It's plugged into this one just for a little while. When the lights go out, the charger goes out. This one I just charged while I was running my 4-wheeler. Just charged it up. I don't know what kind of charge, but Any one of these batteries, they will not start a garden tractor. So this might produce a dark greenish, dark black, dark green sediment first, or it might produce a yellow sediment first. But you can try to reverse the terminals and it may produce different sediment. One phone I did, first it produced yellow, and then it produced that black sediment, blackish green, and then it produced yellow sediment again. So I'll let it run until we get some sediment coming off of it. I'm not going to touch it at all. So it usually doesn't produce much heat, but you keep an eye on it in case the water gets warm. If you run it a long time, it might start getting a little warm, but other than that, it's just not generating any heat. It's not using any amps. There's nothing drawing it. There's something in there that wants to draw amps, but it's not. So it's just using voltage. Low volt, no amp, no current. I mean, only the current, that's allowed as long as it has a direct, or while you're using the electrolyte, you have a path of travel through the water. Just a floating ground in there, and I got 2 hot cables running there off the same battery. Same garbage battery that was taken out of a car that, well, the battery was cause of the car's issue. It's just a battery that was on its way back to the auto parts to because it didn't work, because it wasn't any good in the car anymore. The sediment building up, the green falling down right there. Got some build up on the wire connector. Nothing coming out of that yet. Usually won't see anything on the face, but I can just pull the thing apart, and there usually isn't much on coming out. It's just all coming out from in here, and it's staying on the inside because the phone's waterproof. You know that. And then when I'm done hitting this with the electricity, I'm going to show you. I'll pull the thing apart by hand without any tools. Right now, you try to do that, you can't. You cannot pull this apart by hand. Don't tell me you can. But when I'm done hitting this, I'm going to pull this thing apart by hand. It'll be in the next video. Maybe part 4, whenever it's ready to be pulled apart. I'm going to take this one step further today, and I'm going to go green with this. So you see we got some sediment collecting on it, so we're going to move this somewhere else. So I just got to disconnect it. I don't want to disturb these other wires because it's running good. Just idling in there. Getting some good sediment off of it. This is the sediment that has come off this so far. And some of this. This is the sediment off smaller PCBs. Still some on there. Phone boards. There's our fingerboards. So you see it's not running, all unhooked. You're going to take a walk. So what we got here, so this is a electric powered fence, solar powered. You know, it's for farm animals. So I disconnected the terminals. You see there's nothing there. Doesn't have to be on. I mean, you could turn it on, the light flashes, but doesn't need to be on because I'm hooked direct to the battery. And so this worked for a long time, and because I didn't use it and drain the electricity because it kept charging, it burned out the transformers and the zapper. So no big deal, that can be dealt with. But that's a solar powered fly zapper, and it still works. Where the ones, these, I bought 2 of these, and these don't work. Neither one of them worked at all. That worked pretty good for quite a while. So I just gotta hook that up quick. So what the deal is, so my next video I'm gonna show, I bought a cell phone screen. I bought 3 of them, okay? And the third one I accidentally ordered, that it's not 5G. I ordered it 4G, and it just don't work. It's just not the right one. The first 2 that I replaced, brand new. This one that's on here, so it works fine. And then drain the battery down, and then you plug it in, and then it charges 100%. You turn the phone back on, and it freezes. It won't do anything. It'll only use a fingerprint. So I got another one, a replacement, and that one, just a bunch of Chinese writing come up on the screen, and it said, do not use this phone screen or it might damage your phone. So I disconnected it and put my original broken screen back on, and I've been using it. And then I got the third one, and I put that one on, and well, I couldn't because it was a 4G, and so I decided to try the second one I bought again, and it worked for a few days, and then it shut off, and you know, it just won't do nothing. So you just can't do nothing with it. It won't do anything but shut off. The fingerprint scanner, it'll work. See, I can open it up with a fingerprint. But if I get it, if it reads it, if it don't read it, then you run out of tries. So if I can't get it within 5 attempts, or see what it's doing now, it's letting me read it, or try to, but it'll open it up as soon as I find the right one. See, it won't. So I'm not gonna mess with it. So it's just gonna. I mean, what I do is I take it back apart, unhook everything for just a second, and then hook it right back up, and it'll start working fine again. And then I'll put it on the charge after draining the battery, and once it gets charged after being on the charger, it just won't work again. So I have to take it apart in order to get it to work again. But I'm just gonna order another new one. But the ones that the one that was good, because the ones I've replaced before is a ZTO-OYO. That's a good screen. And this one was, that was the might have been the 4G or one of them, but either way, they came from the same place. This is the 4G. Got to get returned. They don't put the names on them. But this one is a good one. I got them off Amazon. So I ordered another one. This one was the 4G. And this was a VILMON AC or A13. That's a A13. So this one didn't work. Oh wait, no, this one I just ordered. It's the same thing. This 4G. But that's all it comes up on my orders. The other ones, this one don't come up on my orders. And the other one that I replaced that came up with all the Chinese writing doesn't come up on my orders. I can't get it up to bring it up on my orders. But so it's solar powered reverse electroplating. That's what we're doing. I just cut the wire off the solar zapper. Just need to split the cables. So just take the ground, connect it to the ground. Get it nice and tight, twist it up, whatever you gotta do. Let's take the hot. See if we get anything to work. Don't see no action. Doing a little bit. It might. May just I think I'll just get rid of the big cable. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I didn't need that big cable. Oops. So it's a 4.4 volt battery in the battery in the solar fence. I'm gonna try to get a little better connection. Let's take slot card out because it doesn't do anything to slot cards. This is a silver plated slot card. I'll take the hot wire, jam it up in there. If this don't work with a solar power, I mean it will. Got some fine tuning. But, whatever. You got a better connection anyway. If I have to reverse the cables to get activity and or even get contact. Looks like we might have silver plated screws. The nuts and bolts may be silver plated. So just no juice in the battery. There's a little bit, but Need some better sunlight. There's no sunlight right here, not hardly. So I would do something right direct in the sunlight probably. So it's bubbling a little bit in there. Take a long time. Probably a month. I just left it right there. Maybe in the summertime it'll work better. Yeah, it's working. But I'm not gonna do this. Maybe at beginning of summer. Or if you lived in the south. Gonna fill them up. Got 4 of them. Gonna fill all 4 of them up. So I'm gonna plug this back into a big battery. Oh, I forgot my ground cable. So this is a jewelry of scrap electronics. This one's been shocking it for a couple hours almost now. This type of cable works good for the floating ground. There's no wear on it. I'm just gonna hook up the ground, set it down in there. Yeah, a lot more juice. I'm gonna put the charger on from this one. Just gonna take it off and put it on this one for a while. Let it run for a little bit. And then shut the lights out. You're getting a good yellow sediment coming out of there. So just clean water in a spray bottle. Nothing else. No acids. Hydrogen peroxide. Spent hydrogen peroxide and water. So I had to do a part 2, clean this out because it's already been 55 minutes. No heat, no acids. I burnt my finger on a torch. Picked up the torch wrong place. No big deal. So I can leave this for 3, 4, 5 hours. As long as it's producing the same color sediment, the sediment might start turning dark, leaving a dark sediment on the bottom. along with some yellow sediment. I usually clean it out when that starts happening, because then it starts producing dark sediment or black or green or whatever. Brown or orange or yellow and lime. Turquoise. Brown. So after I collect the sediment, I'm going to dry the sediment out in the frying pan and weigh it up. And it's pretty much, you can melt it into a nugget, and then to further refine it, if you're that technical, then you can reverse electroplate again. Different types of metal plates on your plating, or electrolysis, or whatever you want to call it. The big recyclers, the way they that's just how they do it. They take the bars that people make, and they bring them in, and they put them through electrolysis. But they use acids. We're not using acids here. So we're going to see some blue, because it looks like the nuts and bolts are silver plated on this one. But there's still, there's more material, sediment, orange sediment with these older phones. There's going to be, than there are with the new ones. So what we have here is inactivity. So it's going to take the ground and move around a little bit, maybe get some contact. See, it's not doing nothing anywhere. So it's just being more difficult to get contact the more and more I wear this stuff down. Terminals are good. So I'll move these around. No activity over there. So I'll move the hot ones around and watch the ground. Ground right here. Just keep that from touching anything. Just going a little bit again. You can see it. Yeah, it's going pretty good. So if you just can't see in there, see if it's doing anything, you watch up top and you'll see it bubbling. Wherever the ground wire is, or it's right above it. I can hear it bubbling. I can't see it bubbling, but I can hear it. There's a bubble right there. Right there's some. I suppose I could clean this out pretty quick if I have enough phone recording time. I'll just do a part 2 on that with my other phone. We'll just watch this for a little while. I'm gonna jar it a little bit. Right now. So you can zoom in on your camera a little better. I'll put a burst of water right on the material and kick some stuff up with a suction. It's gonna blast it with water or air. So I forgot to mention, to go with the solar power, you know, let that run off solar power. So these are junk booster packs. They're no good. The boards are fried. So you take the battery. You'll have to disconnect the BMS, or you can, if you know how to wire it through a BMS and off of solar power, and then you can do that. But if you just want to go direct, you know, and you know, as long as you're using the juice out of that the solar's producing, unless you manually watch it, you know, to make sure it don't overcharge, then you'll have problems. But you take the battery pack, hook it up to your solar panel, and that way you can run your you know, run anything if you wanna. So somebody damaged the push button, and you know, but just hook that up to the battery pack up to your solar panel, and then run some wires from there, and that way you can run that better. Those lithiums will definitely do the job for this. I don't know if you can give it any more current. I don't have a, you know, well, I do have one to, you know, to increase the current, but I don't know. I don't think it'll do anything different. Might just if you try to force inject electricity into there, then you're gonna break connections. You burn connections, and what you want is you want connections on the hot wire. I'm going to keep all those connections in there, and that way it'll run right through the whole phone. That's why I leave the slot cards in there usually, but you know, to keep a connection. But slot cards don't, you know, they just don't do nothing with this. They'll have to be burnt and then burn it with the other stuff. So you're getting a good amount. I'm just gonna use my thing here and just blow some air down in the bottom to see what's down in there, if I can. Pulling in some water. Just, there's not much really. I mean, we just started it. Most of it's collected on the top. Shake it around a little bit, kick some stuff up from, come out from the inside. Maybe a little bit. So it's going to take a while to wear that down. Probably getting some air wax and stuff coming out. And biofilm. Particulates. So that's the that's a couple of coins in there. So there's it's like heat shrinked, a gold heat shrink, basically around an exact 1 ounce copper bar, and when that gets 1 ounce exactly, because I'll weigh it up after, it's at 1.18, 1/8 of an ounce. Both of them last time. So there's not much activity going on in the ground where, see, I just get contact with it, pushing it down, and it stopped. It's got to be floating. So there's a little bit left in here depleting. There's not much left. You see a little bit right there. And move some cables around and stuff and get some different contacts, and then it'll kick back up again. Put a little bit of pressure on the hot wires and keep the ground floating. Or sometimes coming in contact with the material, it kicks it off and it makes it go, makes it twice as active. So I'll just leave that for not too much longer, and that's pretty much finished. I'm not going to get anything else out of it. And this is what come out of it. I'm going to collect that off, dry it out, and add it to that. And then melt it into one of those graphite crucibles. Put the powder right into the crucible, and then just heat it up, add a little more each time. See there's some dark stuff coming off there. It's dark green. So I lost contact. Something. I got contact with the ground, lost activity. For some reason. The other hot, I don't think it's hooked up. Should it come out of there? I don't know where it went. Yeah. I don't know where that wire, remember the wire that I hooked up into where the slot card was? I don't know where it is. Oh, it was the wire that I had on the solar. That's still on the solar. Could, if I wanted to, might hurry it up some, I could take another wire and hook it up into there, and we'll get more activity on the, as you're just getting more contact with the hot. Try to get it stuck in there and hold it right there. Maybe. I think it's still in contact. Now I gotta get it over to the terminal. Oops. Yeah, that's not gonna work. You gotta get your wire right from the terminal to start with, so you don't have to do any bending while it's hooked up onto the phone. So the charger's hooked up and it's putting juice in there, but you ain't gotta worry about that. I just gotta get this thing hooked up. You gotta take one for a team. Hey, whatever. Just gotta get this thing hooked up real quick and oops. Without losing my sediment. I can't do that. I don't want to lose any more sediment up with the water. Cable's too short. So it didn't dribble a drop over the edge. So I'm just gonna put a longer cable on it. So just get some contact with that. So that whole stainless steel plate below that tape, so it had an increase in the bubble when they come in contact, increase in the activity. It's hardly noticeable, but it works. Right there. So I'm just going to keep some pressure on it. Try to hold some pressure on it without just let it set on it. Without hooking it up. Right there is good. Just clean water. Kick it up some. Got a little too much water in there. This may take a few hours, and then the next session may take a few hours after you clean it out. Might take 4 or 5 sessions before you won't get any more sediment. Might take 3 or 4 sessions before you be able to pull the phone apart by hand. Might need a screwdriver or something to help, but comes right apart. And then uncover if there's any tape covering up some gold, whatever, silver. So, if you got any stuff like that laying around, and you got something like this laying around, you put them in there for safekeeping. Those are fingerboards in there. I've only collected blue sediment off the fingerboards, and now I got some off color brownish, and that blue sediment, that's what's come off these fingerboards. And these has produced orange sediment. That's what it's producing now. Blue, maybe copper and silver. Doesn't seem to be bothering the base metals. So it's a big batch of pins and connectors. Took them about 2 months to reverse electroplate them. We got a low battery. Had to do a part 2.